questions we get asked quite often is, how is the best way to mix clay to have it ready to go at all times? If you've ever had a bee sting, a spider bite, you burned yourself here in the kitchen, it's always great to have the clay mixed up, because the last thing you want to do is to have that, that bee sting, that burn, whatever you're going to use the clay on, and all you have is the powder. So we always recommend you keep some mixed up, ready to go. The way we've found to be the best to have that clay ready, and probably the most cost effective, is to mix that clay up in a quart jar. So this is a quart wide mouth jar. It just so happens that one 10-ounce jar of clay will mix up that quart jar of mud just about perfectly. So once you have your quart jar, and we recommend glass, find yourself a high-grade funnel, or a piece of paper will do, and just dump that whole jar of clay into that mason jar. And clay will usually swell 2 parts water to 1 part clay. So then what we're going to do, because I've just dumped one jar, I'm going to take that jar I just emptied, fill it full of water, or just about full of water, then I'm dump that whole thing in my mason jar. Now, a few of you might point out, where is my second jar going to fit? Because I want 2 jars of water in that. So in order to get that to fit, you're going to have to put your lid on. And if you just shake that up for just a minute or two, it actually settles down quite nicely. And then it's going to fit the second jar of water. Now if you mix up clay in a bowl, which maybe you've done before, you'll find it's very lumpy. Kind of hard to deal with at first. But if you do it this way, it takes all the work out of getting that clay to hydrate. When you first mix up clay, it's very lumpy and kind of hard to deal with. But if you just put that in that mason jar, shake it up, and I had to shake it up one more time to fill a little bit more water in there. And generally you want 2 parts water to 1 part clay. And if you can hear that, it's very, very loose. There's a lot of fluid in there. Now if I just sit that on the counter and come back tomorrow, when I open that lid tomorrow, it's going to look like this. And you can see that that's now a nice creamy gel, where before it was very lumpy. And then you've got the clay mixed up, ready to go for any bee stings, spider bites, facials. You can use the gel to mix up glasses of clay water. Just a really convenient way to store your clay.